good? It's your boy Mukizi, aka Leo from the CEO, aka Leo Mama Key, and today I'm coming at you with a tutorial. Today's tutorial is going to be showing you guys how to change the color of an object in your videos. We got two different ways of doing this. Let's do a disclaimer right now. You can do this with built-in plugins in Premiere or in After Effects. There's a bunch of tutorials out there that already show you how to do this. Well, just by mouse clicking. But I think, in my opinion, like you end up doing the same thing at the end of the day. You just end up going frame by frame and making sure that whatever you wanted to change the color of is change the color. So in my method, we're just gonna skip all the bull stuff and just go through and change it frame by frame. And here's a couple different methods. So the first method, we're gonna use Premiere and Photoshop. So right here, we're gonna open up Premiere, get your footage together, do any edits, do any trimming, anything like that. You don't have to add any effects just yet or any color grading, but just do little subtle effects that you need. Another thing you want to do is go to your sequence settings and make sure you got your frame size right and memorized. Okay, once you do that, you go over here and you press export frame. You can change the name, make sure you memorize it, make sure you know where it's going. Usually what I do is press import into project, and then when I do, that little frame is back into there. And then that also helps you later in Photoshop. So if you keep that name just like that, and then you drag it into Photoshop, do your changes, and just press export with that same name, the color change should automatically happen in Premiere, and then you just drag it back over. So I didn't mean to save that, but okay, we're just gonna go over here to Photoshop. Okay, so I already got it colored. What I did was just grab this little paintbrush tool here. I just went in and just colored everything. Delete that. But before then, well, first when you usually get in there, it's gonna be coloring like this, and that's not generally what everybody want when they want to change the color or something. So you go down to color in your blending mode, and then you it kind of helps out with everything. You don't want to color over everything, because then I mean, it depending on the effect that you're going for, but like you don't generally want to color over everything. So you just want to color your object, and so you can just export that as a PNG or whatever file style you like. Then you bring it back into here. If you had the same color, same name, the color change should have happened here, but I accidentally changed it to the wrong name file here. If we scrub through, you can notice that you don't really see the guy anymore. So you can try to go through and take that off and just lower the opacity. That sometimes helps depending on what you're doing. I mean, that's kind of cool looking, but also you don't get the full vibrance of that red anymore. So what you can do, just like how we did when we initially changed the color and we went and changed the color blending mode, do the same thing here, and boom, it's off a little bit, but it's still cool. You can go through and just brighten it up, because I think it just lowered the brightness, so you can just go ahead and brighten it up with some little after tweaking and all that. But there you go, right here, a simple little color change effect, and you can do this on almost any object in Premiere and in Photoshop. Okay, so here's another little clip that we're going to do. If you want to do the same method that we just did, you will have to do almost every frame. Just go ahead and take a picture of every frame, scoot over, go get the next frame, scoot over, get the next frame, and then color them all in Photoshop, which isn't bad, because that's what I used to do until I learned this next method. But before then, like I said earlier, you can just go through some of these effects, just type in color, and right here, just change color. This is a good one right here. You can just go ahead, boom, look for this color, change that color, and go ahead, tweak with some of the stuff here. I mean, turn that lightness down, but you can tweak some of the colors and stuff right there, and that's kind of cool. But look, you're affecting other things, and that, I mean, some people that might not be a problem, but I mean, this effect, I really just want to change like the object, one object, and not nothing else around it. So that doesn't, I mean, that's not too bad, but that just, I mean, if you guys want to use that, that is an option there. Like this one here, that's another cool option. Let's go with the purple. Changing the hue, everything, but this also changes everything, which is not bad. I like the purple trees. I like everything else that goes purple. This isn't bad. I mean, then you got a bunch of other color effects in there that you can use as well. But we're gonna so just like I said, we're essentially doing the same effect just in different ways. Like I said, like that's the same thing. Like even if you use these little effects, you'll still have to go through frame by frame if you just want to keep it in that general area for, you know what I mean, where you want it. And just like with this one, like you just got to make sure that you colored in the right spots and use the right blending modes. If your dynamic link works, you know, just go ahead, pull up your dynamic link, and then replace this with an After Effects composition or whatever. And if yours doesn't, I have a link below to a video of me explaining how you can get it to work manually if it doesn't work for you. But I'm not gonna take my time. I'm gonna just go ahead and pop up After Effects. I got the clip already up there for us. So essentially, we're doing what we did in the first clip, except we don't have to screenshot every frame or anything like that. But we will have to color in every frame. So it's not as bad as you would think, because if you're still using any of those little plug-in and built-in little tools and any other method, like you're still gonna have to go through and analyze each frame to make sure that it's doing it. Some of them are quicker than the others. Like I will admit, some are quicker than others. You could just try to like mix them in, like take a picture of the pool and just try to track it over there. But the perspective changes a little bit, so that's something you got to worry about. And this one, I just find it easier for me. It's kind of relaxing and fun. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's real tedious, but I mean, if you do it right, you can get some good effects and some good results. You don't have to do any color grading or anything just yet. Just make sure it's trimmed down to size. And with this method, I do want to stress that it's best to have a 24 frames per second clip in something that this is moving, but like not moving too much. But something like if this was just a tripod shot, it'd be money. Like if we're doing this method for the first clip that we had with the guy in Premiere with this dude right here, we're doing this effect that we're doing with this clip. It'd be way easier because he's just right there in one spot. Sorry, I can't see under my camera. But he's just in one spot, and we just can do right here. So double click your clip. So if we're using that other footage in there that wasn't moving, we'll do this like part of the method where you go through, click the paintbrush tool up here, you click your brush size, then you go down to paint, and then you choose your colors or whatever, and then you go right here to your duration, and you would just keep it on constant. So that's essentially what we did the first time, where we just painted the picture. We knew it was in one spot, and it's just gonna stay there in one frame. So we just put something right here. I don't know what's up with that color. Yeah, that's because the mode is on something weird. So put it right there, and then if we scrub through, it's gonna stay in there, but it's just gonna stay dead in where you color that on the screen, not in the footage. So, but like if your footage was right there on that one spot, it wouldn't be a problem. So, but with this one, you can put it on custom if you think you can time how long, I mean, something stays on frame. You could try to time it and then move it from there, but I mean, that's a little iffy sometimes. So I just use it on single frame, just frame by frame and color it. You might want to get you a podcast, get you some snacks and everything, and just get you some music or whatever, and just be ready to take like a couple hours. I mean, you can get this done fast depending on what you're doing, but you might be spending a couple hours just coloring. Essentially, like I said, double click it. You go to the paintbrush, you get your brush size right. I mean, these little you can kind of generally see like this one is a hard brush, this one's a soft brush, but if you click on them, they tell you. Then you go down to the paint tab, you choose your color, put your blend mode on color, and that's just like to help like how it was earlier, because if you put it on normal, it's gonna, you know what I mean, gonna color in normal. So that's not what we really want. We just want to color in the object and change the color of it. So we just put it on that blend mode, and then boom. So, all right, that's essentially what you're going to do. You're just going to be going through each frame, and how do you go through each frame is you hold control and you grab the arrow keys, left and right. Right is to go forward, left is to go back. Um, you know, you're just going through frame by frame and just coloring in. Going to the next frame, coloring in, coloring in. I mean, and if you think of this like a flip book, let's go back to those first couple frames. If you think of it like a flip book, you're essentially just you're just coloring a flip book. Like, I mean, each frame. That's how you just want to think of this. Some few tips for this. If you can use a touchscreen and like a stylus, that's what I use, and it helps me. It helps me just go helps me stay on the inlines and keep it not looking sloppy, but also like quicker because I'm just coloring directly on there. It's versus with the mouse. You can get it done with the mouse. It's just little you know what I mean. It's not, you know what I mean, writing it directly on there as you'll be used to it. Also, always zoom in if you can. Just zoom in as close as you can. Go over here to this hand tool in the corner here and just drag down. Always, if you want to move, make sure you're on that hand tool and zoom in and out and just go in, zoom in. Don't be afraid to really zoom in, especially if you want to stay in like line or whatever. Just go back to your brush tool. I mean, I said that and I still went over line. So you probably want to use a harder brush if you want to do these edges like that. And then just go back out. And then just press control and then go over to the next frame. You want to make sure that you're going in order. Just okay, boom. Another little tip, if you don't want to keep going over here to this brush tab, is you hold control and then you click and drag, and you can change the size of your brush. So if you want to get in on these corners here, you know what I mean? I'm not getting in too close, but that's simply how you do it. I'm gonna speed up and then go through and try to do as many as I can, but I'm not about to promise that I'm gonna do a lot. Got super lazy there at the end, so this is gonna be super sloppy, but this is just to give you a gist of what we're gonna be doing. You know what I mean? If you colored it in right and did your borders and everything right, it wouldn't be all flashy like that. It'd be perfect, I promise you. I'm just trying to give you a sense of what we're doing. Like, I mean, just make sure you colored everything. Another tip is erasing. You can't erase, because if you try to erase, you're gonna just erase footage. You know what I mean? So what you want to do is try to go through here and find that brush stroke that you were on and then erase that frame, or because it'll tell you if your marker's on that frame. You just go down and then scroll down and see which one lines up. Okay, we're on that frame, boom. And then sometimes like you can overlap it. If you're on that color blend mode, you can just add another paint stroke over there, and then it'll just blend in perfectly. It won't look like it's overlapping like any other frame mode, blending mode would. And that's essentially how you do it. You're just coloring in each frame. I'm sorry if it's sloppy, but that's essentially what you do. And yes, this is just like my other coloring in smoke tutorial. But this method really works, especially if you want to stay on point and do it precisely. I know I didn't do it precisely in this tutorial, but if you look up some of my other videos and stuff like that, I do it. I do a good, precise job. But yeah, that's essentially it. You know what I mean? You're just painting frames. That's it. I mean, you're just painting over the frames, and like all the other methods, that's essentially what they're telling you do. They're just telling you use some of the built-in tools, or just other methods. This method is just one of the easiest methods I see that I use for myself. Some of them take longer than others, but you can really get precise work done. If you guys like this tutorial helped you out, if you learned anything new, please consider liking and subscribing to this channel. I really can use it, as well as my other channel where I do other tutorials such as music and other types of art. For this channel, I stick to tutorials and tech reviews and things like that. That will not stick to all my other type of media. So please feel free to check them out. I got links below to me, to all my socials and all my music and all that type of stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching. You guys have a great day.
Production.